Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage, you join me on a business trip. Listen to that exhaust. Just pulled over for a couple of minutes. We're in the Cotswolds at the moment. And myself and Purdey are heading for North Derbyshire to our next destination. And it's mid-March, 17 degrees. What's not to love? This is why I have a convertible. So for on those moments where it's nice, I'm working. Can you see me working? Do I look upset? It's nice, isn't it? Let's get back underway. I do normally have the windows down on the sides, but for the benefit of the microphone, I'll leave them up today. This is when owning an X100 convertible makes absolute sense. A usable, practical classic, practical as long as there's only two of you, that's reliable enough, safe enough, and can be made to have enough kit. I've got Apple CarPlay in here now, to be used as an everyday car. The minor caveat being fuel consumption if you're in the UK. As I say, I've been in the Cotswolds, I'm heading for North Derbyshire. Both are locations with fabulous roads. So I've got an indicated 22 miles per gallon average. I subscribe to an odd little niche hobby called Hypermiling. So I actually enjoy learning how to and extracting maximum miles per gallon from vehicles. And I have done some videos on various vehicles that I've hypermiled for you. But it's not been one of those weeks. I've just been enjoying the car. And so, yeah, 22 to the gallon from a 4-litre quad cam V8 while you're enjoying yourself, that's okay.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit.
I find this Carpuride unit excellent. Yes, I was sent it for free. Yes, I did a review video for them, but you know, that's long since gone.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit.
And it's still in my car. And it's still in my car because it really works. I don't think it looks completely out of place. And it brings it up to date.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
And even with the roof off, the system works really well. I can still see the screen.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
The sound is obviously linked to the car's hi-fi. And that link's just an FM transmission thing, and it's beautifully clear. And the microphone works really well as well. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 2:16 p.m.
I could ask her to play the radio and name the stations and all that sort of good stuff, but copyright. Plus, I've got the best tunes. The exhaust. Just cruising along and looking at the other traffic. I've registered something for the first time in my life. I can't name every car that I see on the road. As a complete petrol head, there wasn't any vehicles I didn't know. Even if I'd never seen them before, I'd know what they were. In fact, there was a time when I could name almost every vehicle by the shape of its tail lights at night. Now, I think it's because of my lack of interest, if I'm honest, in electric cars and the huge influx all of a sudden of Chinese brands that we don't recognise in Europe. I've fell behind the times, and I don't think I'll ever catch that back to be able to name every vehicle that's on the road anymore. Thanks to everybody who's watching, subscribing, commenting on the series of videos about Steed, the silver XK8 Coupe, that I'm not going to say restoring, that's not true, repairing, let's say. Really enjoying that, because Purdey's in pretty decent condition. Steed has got different issues, which is nice and interesting and challenging. I have actually had my first offer of, and it's a very firm offer as well, to buy Steed off me, but I have gone back to them, as I said, with I won't sell it until he's back on the road. But yeah, if you want to own Steed, then feel free to get in touch. Let me know what you would like to pay for him. At some stage I will sell him. Yeah, I want to get a couple of grand more than I've spent. That's the mission. If somebody offers me more than that, it's a very easy decision. But I won't be going anywhere until I've at least got him back on the road. In many ways, Steed would be the more practical car for me, in that I do use my cars all of the time. Purdey is never sawn. I don't take the road tax offer for those who aren't in the UK. And she's MOT'd and taxed year round and insured year round.
At the next lights, at the roundabout, take the third exit.
No, I don't take her out on purpose, consciously, in monsoon weather and snowstorms and stuff like that, but I use her when I want to, all year round. And a convertible is maybe a little less practical, a little less secure, but I do enjoy this. It's a great feature. Tonight's prestigious accommodation will be a Premier Inn, and tea, or my evening meal, will be whatever I can find locally. I've just got one day in Derbyshire and then heading back home. In the boot of Purdey, I've got a cylinder of CO2, managed to pick up for doing some welding on Steed. So that's made another little bit of use of being out and about. I've mentioned previously that Purdey does need some bottom ball joints at the front, and the only reason I knew that was it was an advisory on the MOT. They have a thing called vibra plates or jiggle plates these days for the MOT, which agitate the wheels so they can see slackness that you won't necessarily be able to see or feel prior. This trip is the first trip when I've been conscious, but I've got a little bit of a knock coming from particularly the near side, the left hand side of the car at the front, over rough ground. So yeah, that really does need addressing. It's all a matter of time. I am working. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am working. And because I work all over the place, it's not as if I can do too much of an evening. And when I'm back at home, there are chores to do. And of course we've got Steed, and Steed is currently occupying my RAM, so jobs get pushed back. We're about 30 miles into my trip, which is about 90 miles I think. We are still on 22 miles per gallon average indicated, so I'm just going to zero my average miles per gallon gadget. 1 second. And then just for fun, I'm going to do a little bit of hypermiling, see if Purdey's still got what it takes. See if I can get out the 22s, and I'll just give you an idea of some of the techniques. First one is, the car is equipped with cruise control. Cruise control is a good way of getting economy as long as you're on a flat road. If there are any inclines or declines, cruise control will cost you. So if you're really serious about extracting max mile per gallon, then turn your cruise control off. The reason is cruise control tries to maintain constant speed. However, I'm going uphill now, just slightly. If we try to maintain continuous speed going uphill, we'll have to apply some more throttle and add more fuel. What I'm doing is I'm just letting it trail off.
Use the left 2 lanes to take the exit towards Birmingham and the A45.
So we probably dropped 5 miles an hour over the last quarter of a mile. We're now cresting a small hill. I mean, it's barely perceptible. And what I'm going to do now is allow the car to accelerate going downhill. And I'll do that with the breath of throttle.
Take the exit.
That will give you quite a big boost over a journey. Allow the
At
car...
the roundabout, take the 5th exit to merge onto the A45 towards London.
Allow the car to lose a little speed as it's climbing, and allow it to gain speed as it's falling. If you do that, you'll be amazed how much you can add to your miles per gallon over a longer journey. On your trip to the shops, it's not going to make any odds. The next trick is avoid braking. Don't do anything silly. If you need to brake, you brake. But what it means is plan the way you drive and how you drive and your gaps, such that you never have to use the brakes. It's not that the brakes steal fuel. It's the throttle that uses fuel. So if I accelerate, I'm using fuel. If I then brake, I'm burning off the momentum that I built up using that fuel.
6.
So for that same stretch of road, if I'd have accelerated less and let the car decelerate naturally, potentially I'd cover the ground in exactly the same amount of time, because when I get to the point where I had to stop, maybe the obstruction's gone. So you think of your brakes as if they're stealing fuel, but they're not. It's about never putting in any forward momentum that you don't need.
In 3.2 miles, at the roundabout, take the 2nd exit towards Leicester.
So we're coming to a roundabout. My foot is off the throttle. I'm cruising up to it. I'm going to have to brake, and that's fine. But we saved fuel by cruising up to that set of lights. Another thing that we can do is try to avoid this, a stop. Getting the car moving from stationary uses far more fuel than keeping it pottering along. So if you can make your drive, whether it be in traffic or up to traffic lights, if you blur those joins, slowing down towards traffic lights when you can see they're red well before them, because maybe they'll turn green and you can gently accelerate away again, that will result in great fuel savings. You may have heard the engine note zip up then. Oh, John's wasting fuel. It's never a waste of fuel to keep yourself safe. There was a car on the inside of me. I didn't want him to try an undertake, and he was looking like he might. There's a large motorhome in front of me. Now, it's never safe on the road to actively slipstream, because you've got to be close enough to have an effect, and that means you're inside your own stopping distance normally. However, that motorhome is going slower than I want to go, so I'm going to be overtaking him. What I'm going to do is use his slipstream to save me a little bit of fuel as I'm passing. I'm on the edge of close enough for something that large to give me some advantage. The car has cut into the gap, so we've got no effect now. But he's pulling off to the left, that's fine. What I'm interested in is looking for a gap on my right and timing my approach to the vehicle in front under gentle throttle, such that I do get closer to it where I can see, where I'm able to pull out. So my opportunity is coming up now. I'm closing on the vehicle in front. I've entered the point at which it's dragging me, and that's fine. And now indicate out, and I've had some draw, some suction from it, that slipstream effect. Now the traffic has changed, so that's negated some of that. That's fine. I've braked early, so that I don't have to keep braking. The car in front is braking, I'm not. My car is idling. And I'm in a, as you know, torque converter auto, which means it'll roll on very nicely. It's not got a lot of engine braking. Things are starting to pick up, but I'm not going to get too close to the car in front, because, yep, he's braked again. I don't want to brake. Can I get away with it? No braking from me. Still no braking from me. So I'm maintaining momentum. I'm not wanting to slow down unnecessarily, because I'll have to put that back. Still not braking. Still not braking. And he's starting to pull away. Still not braking. Hint of throttle. I'm still not braking. Still not braking. Yeah. So again, I would brake if I needed to brake, but I don't need to. I needed to there. I was getting a little too close, but we still maintain forward momentum. So sometimes people talk about, oh, I'm hypermiling. often what they mean is they're doing some driving at 4 a.m. That is entirely different to driving in a real mixed bag of traffic, roads, fast roads, slow roads, and getting the maximum miles per gallon whilst on this sort of journey. And it's actually quite entertaining. As you get good at it and hone your skills, you can deploy all these techniques at the right moment. It makes your drive interesting and it makes you very alert. I have had to brake a fraction there, but we never had to stop.
In about 1.5 miles,
Gentle acceleration. Okay, we're now up to 28 miles per gallon average in our 4 litre V8 with the top down, in mixed driving including traffic. Not bad. See what more we can do. Each car has a sweet spot for MPG in terms of its cruising speed. A really slippery car like an XK8 with a large engine, large wheels and an automatic gearbox will tend to have a slightly higher sweet spot than a small angular bluff city car with small wheels, short-legged gearbox, etc. So learning what is the best speed for economy is also part of hypermiling. And I've done lots of experiments with my XK8 over the years. And on a smooth, straight road, it is more or less 70 miles per hour, almost, about 68, that gives the best economy with this car. As soon as you throw in a few twists and turns and a little bit of acceleration and deceleration, I seem to get the best results at the 61, 62 miles per hour mark. My Land Rover, on the other hand, definitely tops out at about 57 miles per hour. So now I've got the option of how fast to go. I'm bringing her up to 70. Also, you know, I've got places to be. I don't want to be on the road all day. Got a nice big vehicle in front of me. I'm coming up to it a little closer maybe than the braking distance, but it's okay because I'm moving lanes into empty space. And you get that slight catapult past. You can actually feel it on the throttle. I am going uphill slightly, so I'm backing off just a fraction. My speed is dropping to 66 at the moment. Cresting the hill. Let the car start to accelerate naturally, and I'm going to add a little bit, just a fraction of throttle, to bring us back to 70. And we're there. Again, I'm looking to overtake when I've just reached the tail end of the slipstream effect, which is there, just to get that little bit of draw, and it runs out about there on the vehicle. So even though you pull out from behind, initially that slipstream effect still helps. We're now up to 28.5 miles per gallon. I've turned sport mode off, which in the XK8 sport mode essentially allows it to rev higher and restricts the upshifts to slightly higher road speeds. Turn that off because we're on a motorway. If I was around the country lanes, sometimes not being in sport mode means the car labours just a little bit too much, and it's not as efficient as if you got it in sport mode. You've got to experiment. Now I'm not going to dodge in behind that truck just to take a little bit of suction, because that's just bad road manners, bad road etiquette. Don't weave, don't be a nuisance. It's quite interesting with that large motorhome, but I didn't manage to overtake earlier. He's still in front of me. That size of vehicle I would have imagined would be on a different speed limit to me. Heavies like the one I'm passing can only do 57 miles an hour and they are restricted. I would have suggested by the size of that vehicle in front it should be restricted to 60 on this bit of road, but it won't have a speed limiter, so you know, not picking on anybody, just it's interesting. Well, of course the camera packed up on me whilst making that clip, so you just have to take my word for it. I managed after 98 miles to get to 32 miles per gallon. That was real mixed driving, including going through very urban areas of Derby and getting fouled up in quite a lot of traffic. But yeah, quite good fun if I'm honest. Look at the state of my car. But we are back home. Sandy rain to be washed off. Some bird lime to be washed off the hood or roof. But yeah, having an XK8 really does make work trips a lot more fun, folks. See you soon. If you just go to Amazon/shop/to the garage, and I'll put that link in the description below so that you can just click on it. It takes you to a to the garage area of Amazon that is categorized into hand tools, power tools, gadgets and gizmos, things specifically the XK8, etc. that I've bought from Amazon over the years so that you can follow the same links and have a look, see how much those cost at the moment. Nice little feature. Thank you, Amazon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.